We're here this morning on a working nursery to look at nematode application. And depending on the scale of the operation, you could be using, in a domestic situation, obviously a watering can, but more likely in a propagation situation, you might use a knapsack or a Dosatron attached to a spray tank, or even through the overheads. We're here today looking at a Dosatron, but other models are available. This is a typical nursery model, and I'm just going to talk you through the ways to use it. The first thing is to look at the setting. Here we've got it set at 1 in 100, which is perfect. The next thing to look at is filters. Normally on the suction hose you would have a filter, so we've taken that off, but it's really any small micron filters below 50 microns that you want to remove, particularly in the spray tank. Now when you're adding nematodes to the tank, it's important that they're constantly agitated. Now this particular sprayer has a built-in agitator, but on a smaller system you could use a manual paddle wheel or stirrer just to keep them agitated, or even an air pump. Now a key factor to consider with nematode application is nozzle choice. If we were applying nematodes to the foliage as a foliar spray for, say, western flower thrip, we would use probably one of these red flat fan nozzles with a medium application rate. But more commonly we're applying nematodes for vine weevil control. So this is a much heavier nozzle, and it's important that the aperture with these nozzles is more than 0.5 millimetre. It's important to consider that nematodes are living organisms, so we have to be careful of the pressure. Now we don't want pressures exceeding 300 psi. Now this shouldn't be a problem in a typical nursery situation. This particular sprayer has a maximum rating of 100 psi and typically runs at about 80 psi. Now it's really important before you use the product that you refer to the ICL product information sheet. There's lots of detailed information, and it's also repeated on the ICL Protect website. An extra consideration when you're using overhead irrigation to apply nematodes is the fact that your Dosatron might be in a central location, and it could take time for the nematodes to arrive at the nozzle. Now you can obviously need to calibrate how long it takes for the nematodes to get here, so you could use a food dye, or alternatively you could attach the Dosatron directly to the bed so that it applies it straight onto the bed. If you are applying a food dye, obviously you want to wash it off when you wash the nematodes off. Now this particular spray tank is used solely for biological products such as nematodes, but on many nurseries a tank is going to be shared between other pesticides such as fungicides, insecticides and herbicides, and in those situations it's very important to clean the tank out before you use a biological product, or you will impair the efficiency of the product. And we have a new product called Spotless Nursery, which is great for cleaning the tank out and the lines and ensuring that the tank is safe to use. When you clean the tank out, it's important to follow the regulations and dispose of any tank washings in an approved manner. So just a tip when using beneficial nematodes, it's all about efficiency. And if you can improve the distribution of the nematodes throughout the growing media, you can really improve the control. And that's where new ICL transporter comes in.